Hi everyone, welcome aboard. I'm T9 Fury, a member of the BSB Network social gaming clan, and I'm here today to bring you a review, or at least a little insight into the game This War of Mine. This War of Mine is a survival game, nothing like zombie apocalypse or anything like that. It's based around a besieged city that is surrounded by the military with rebels on the inside and survivors, and you take the storyline of some of the survivors. It was produced and developed by 11-bit Studios. It currently retails on Steam at £14.99. So, and I think it's a good bargain for the money. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the game. The open screen is pretty simple. Quick credits and settings and your game menu. I can either start a new game. Initially, obviously, you only get new game. But because I've already been playing it, I can either continue with my current progress or I can start a new game. So for the purposes of the review, I'm going to start a new game. Initially, you only get one storyline, which is this one up at the top left hand corner, which is with Katia, Bruno and Pavel. And as you progress through the game, it unlocks all these other stories, and I've not yet tried them, but I'll show you this other one. Now, there is only one game you can play at any one time. You can't save it and go back and play another game and save that. It is only one game, and the game saves whenever you exit the game, so you will always only be playing one game at a time. So it's going to ask me if I want to lose my current progress. I'm going to say yes, and we'll get into the game. Yeah, the no saving business, I think it's actually probably a good thing. It does make the game a little bit more intense, and probably a little bit frustrating if you do screw things up, because you can't go back and load in a previous position, because there are no saves. The only save is when you exit. Right, so we're here in our shelter. As you can see, it resembles the old style platform games, but probably not as funny. We get a brief outline of our characters, and I'll let you read that at your leisure when you buy the game. What I'll do is I'm gonna not explain too much initially, because I just want to quickly get my characters onto hunting for supplies, because the cycle of the day is actually quite short, so I'm just gonna quickly run around and get a few things done. Oh, I need those materials. As you can see, there's loads of icons all over the screen that enable me to do things and make things as well, so I'll explain those in a short while. Let's get that explored. You see the let's grab all that, and let's grab all of that. All these little icons are allowing me to grab all. Right, I finished making this metal workshop, so I'm just going to quickly get a shovel made, and we'll bring him down here. Right, so all these icons then, basically we've got you got things like I could open doors here. You can close the doors as well. You can move around, left click, move around. Double left click is a run. Let's just get him making something else. Let's make a crowbar. Right, now we've also got this rubble. Now, without a shovel, I'd have to do this by hand, but it'd take some time. But because I made a shovel quickly in this workshop, He's digging through the rubble, and it actually does it a lot quicker than doing it by hand. He's also, this chap down there, Bruno, is also making a crowbar, so now I can crowbar through locked doors. Let's go out into this back garden, see what we've got out here. We're gonna grab all of this gear here. So as you can see, this hand icon is allowing me to search hidey holes for, you know, any goodies that might be there. So I'm going to grab all of those. The hand icon also signifies the use of an item. So let's say, for example, this chair would have a hand icon above it, and allows me to sit down. If there's a bed, I could use the bed. Let's get down here. You'll see if I've not got a lockpick or a crowbar, you'll see when I attempt to open cupboards, some of them are locked and it'll come up with a padlock, so I can either crowbar it open, or if I've got a lockpick, I can use the lockpick to open those. So that means I can have all the goodies in there. We've got some nice food there. I shall go through the inventory system in a minute, but because the day is actually quite short in game time, I just need to get as much done as possible. The day cycle, the game is split into cycles. You've got the day and night cycle. During the day you can only spend that in your shelter, so you use that time to build workshops, you know, rest if you've got a bed and things like that, and other activities. You could even grow vegetables and all that sort of stuff as well. And oh, he's using a shovel. Oh, he's using a hand. Why was he using his hand? See what I mean by the digging by hand is actually quite slow, so I shall quickly get him onto that crowbar over there, and then I'll stop what he's doing. Now when he goes in again, he should break out a shovel, which he has done, thank you. See, because I've only got one crowbar, only the lockpick was available, but the crowbar's available now, so I'm going to get to crowbar open that. Right, now because we've got some space down here, what I want to do is, some of my characters at some stage might want to rest, so I'm going to go to the workshop. That's the metal workshop. I want to go to that workshop. You've got various workshops to build stuff in the game. If we go in the workshop, here you've got you know, beds, chairs, radio and stuff like that. So initially what I could try upgrading, or you can upgrade workshops as well, and I want to see, no, I'm short of components, so I'm going to give that a miss. I'm going to go into this workshop and I'm going to build a bed, and I'm going to place that down here, and he will go down there and build that bed. And Pavel is over here. What can he do? I think most of it's explored apart from that top floor, which Kachi is going to do. I'll go into a bit more detail on the next day cycle. And you see some doors are boarded up. Now I can still get through them as long as I'm on the right side of the door that the boards are on. It just takes a bit longer to open that door. If it was boarded up from the other side, I would have to find a new way through to take down the boards from the other side. Right, so our day cycle's ended. As you can see, it's only about 6 or 7 minutes is the day cycle, so quite quick. You can't really get much done. And the night cycle, now here is what we choose to do with our characters. Now our characters, obviously we've got character cards on this left hand side, and we can see that they've got backpack icon. We can see by Pavel, he's slightly sick, but I'm going to use him to scavenge because he's got a backpack, and he's also a fast runner, so he should hopefully be able to get out of the shit if he needs to. And Katya is going to sleep in a bed, and I'm going to put Bruno on guard. What we do is on the right hand side now, we've got our destinations. Initially there's only 3 to 4 destinations available, and we see our shelter here. We also see our destinations. We can select which one we want to go to. If you have a look at the top right hand corner, we can see what's likely to be at that shelter. So at this ruined block of flats, we've got lots of food, huge amounts of material, some meds, lots of weapons, and lots of parts, so all the stuff we need. So we're going to go and explore that. Or if we wanted to choose another destination, now up here it tells us what we're likely to find there, but it also says possible trade, caution advised. So there's likely going to be people there, but you don't know if they're going to be aggressive or not, but I would put it down to possible trade. So I would say they're more than likely going to ask us if we want to trade anything. You can also go to other places when they appear. It might say danger, so the chances are if you go there you're going to have a bad encounter. Not necessarily disastrous, but you might have a bit of a scrap with someone. What you will also get is each time you explore an area, which I'll show you on the next night cycle, is you'll get a percentage up here of how much you've explored of that area. So what we'll do is we'll select this block of flats, prepare for it. So this is the stuff in my inventory. Now I've got no particular weapons apart from a shovel. I can also use that for digging, so I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take 2 lockpicks in case I come across any locks. Now the difference between a lockpick and a crowbar is a lockpick is one use only. So what will be handy is if I use both of these lockpicks, it will free up that inventory slot and I can put more gear in there. However, with the crowbar, it stays in the inventory. Things like the crowbar and the shovel, they have got life cycles, so they do degrade and you do have to build them, but it means I'm using up an inventory slot. So I'm going to go with the lockpick. And it loads it in, and again similar to our shelter screen, but this time we've got our ruined block of flats. Now when you're out and about, you've got your backpack. You can run to the exit, which means I'll run to the nearest exit, and on some of these missions there is an exit on both sides of the screen. I don't think there is on this one, so it's just the one exit. You can switch between scavenge mode or attack mode. So with the attack mode I've got a shovel. If I've got a gun, that would appear there as well. You've got icons that appear when you're in scavenge mode, so I can search. So the hand icon, I can search it, and I'm going to grab everything that's in there. So this is materials that we need. Again, I'll go through the different materials when I get back to the shelter. So let's go up into the flats. Let's explore out also this stuff here. I'm going to grab it all. I tend to, when I first hit a building, I generally just grab everything and then explore as I go along to see if there's any better stuff. And I normally clear from bottom to top. In any given house. You also get these magnifying glasses that you can leave little notes. Some of them are hints and tips about where stuff is in the game. Some of it's just boring stuff that's about as much use as tits on a fish. But there is one in a house somewhere that tells me there's a gun in the back garden. So you go back out into the back garden. There's you can get a gun. So that's all. We've got some food there, so definitely want that food. Let's just take that for now. Next to doors, you've also got a little eye icon, so I can peer through. Now, just because I can't see nothing there, it doesn't mean I can't search in here. If I go through the door, it's mainly for if there's people in the house, or if you can hear a banging on the other side of the door. You can see if it's a person, a window closing and opening in the wind, and things like that. And what we've got here, we've got more components. Let's take some more components, I think. Right, now even though my inventory's full, what I do is I normally do still carry on exploring, because then I can also find out whether I'm going to need equipment on my next run. So for example, on this house here, I need a saw blade because the doors are barred up, so I can't get through. If I go to the top, let's have a look up here, and we've got another one here, so I can't get through that, so these items are not available to me. So what I'm going to do is, on my next visit, I know I'm going to need a saw blade, so I'm going to run to the exit for now. This means I'll be going back to my shelter, the night cycle will end, and I shall be back doing some stuff at home. While we're back in the shelter, I will quickly run through my inventory so I can tell you what sort of stuff you need for what, and I'll go into a bit more detail on the what you can do in the shelter. So after the night cycle ends, it gives us a log for that day. Tells us what Pavel got. Here it also tells us if we got raided. It tells us if people have got wounded, whether they've ended up sick. So Pavel is slightly sick, so what I'm going to do is, I've got in your shelter you've got medication and food and drink supplies. So here we've got bandages, bottles of pills, herbal medicines. So because I'm slightly sick, I'm going to have some medicine. So we'll have that medicine, and also because he's my scavenger and I need him at night, so I'm going to put him in bed because he's quite tired. Let's get Katya up here out of the way. And what I'm going to do now is I want to see if I can upgrade, because that saw blade is, I can only make that through the improved metal workshop. I've still not got enough materials, so I need 7 more components and 3 more wood. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to build anything else in here in the shelter because I don't want to use up my components. Right, on the food side, going back to this bit, you've got food, you've got vegetables, raw food, and you've got canned food, and you've got alcohol. You can eat everything as it is there. Canned food will always be ate just as canned food, but your vegetables and your raw food, what you can do is you can cook meals, and it makes them more nutritious to eat. So your hungry status will stay as it is for, you know, a longer period of time. Right, your inventory, which you can access at the top left hand corner here, this tells us shows us all the items that we've got, so whether we've got enough of each item. There is absolutely loads in the game, so you know, you got to explore a lot. Also, each item is split into categories and has got their various uses. So we've got things like medication, food and tobacco at the top here, and things we use to grow the vegetables. So this is some fertilizer. So later on, once we make a vegetable garden, we can either use it to grow the vegetables, or we can put it in an animal trap, so we can capture animals for food. We've also got equipment, so things like your crowbar, saw blades, lockpicks, shovels, they all go in here. Then you've got materials. This is what you use to craft all the items in the game. So most things take components and wood. We've got parts, so you get some stuff that takes a few parts. Water, obviously for making boiling the food when we've made a cooker. Some parts also take electrical parts. Again, there's absolutely loads of other different items as well, so there's a lot of crafting and a lot of items that take different items. We've also got books. Now, I've never come across a situation where I'm reading a book, but a book comes in handy so I can burn it as fuel. for the heater or the cooker and things like that. And you would also have at the bottom here, if you've got any weapons like guns, that'll appear down here along with your ammunition and things like that. So that's your inventory. Right, we've got a trader at the door as well. These dudes, they don't come along every day, but they do come more often than not. So we're going to send Katya up there because she's got some good bargaining skills. So she'll go up there and she's going to sit. Now it might not be a trader, it might be someone who wants help. Yep, so we've got a trader. So what we're going to do, before I trade with them, I'm going to send Bruno down here to see what we needed to upgrade that metal workshop. So I needed 7 components and 3 wood. So she's going to go ahead and trade. And we're looking for components, which is just there, so we want 7 of those, and we want 3 wood. I'll take 4 anyway. Now what have we got to, now we haven't really got much to bargain with, but I do know that sugar, I'm not going to need that immediately. That's used to make moonshine, so, and I ain't going to be doing that anytime soon, so I'm going to try and see how much this dude will take. Right, we have a deal. So, and that's all I'm going to do for now, because I've still got to raid that house for more supplies. So we're going to end the trading. He's going to piss off, and let's close the door while we're at it. And now I should be able to upgrade my workshop. So there we go. Alright, let's get Katya down here. Now I'm not going to really be able to make anything else, because if I look at my inventory, I've got 1 wood left and no components, so I can't make anything. So what I'll do is I'll end the day and I'm going to go on another scavenge. Once this dude's made the improved workshop. Now the difference between a normal workshop and improved one is obviously the improved one gives me more access to, so with the metal workshop I only had crowbar, lockpick and a shovel and a knife. Now I can make a saw blade so I can get through those metal bars which we came across. I've got a hatchet, I can use that to chop up furniture. So even if you explore every aspect of a house, once you've explored it, you could still go back in there with a hatchet and chop up all the furniture and use that for wood. So just because it says it's 100% explored, go back in there and get hold of that furniture because you will need it. And also we've got a gun, a shotgun and a helmet. Now I can't actually build any of those because I'm short of some components. I should have saw this coming really, but hey ho, hopefully I'll get them on the next exploration. So I'm going to cut the day short again, end the day. I'm going to go on a scavenger gun, but this time, for the purposes of this review, normally I'd do that house, keep going there 100% until I've got everything. But what I'm going to go to, what I'm going to do is go to a place where there's maybe a bit of danger, maybe not too much danger. Or I'll do this one because it looks like there's someone there, but it might not be dangerous. So I'm going to take Pavel. Bruno's going to sleep in the bed, and this time Katya's going to guard. So let's prepare for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shovel as a weapon, and just in case I need to dig, and I'm going to take a couple of lockpicks, and that's all. Got no other weaponry, so this might be a bit of a toughie. So straight away we're on the screen, we're on the right hand side of the screen this time. Is there an exit out the other side? I don't normally find out if there is or not, because it doesn't really particularly matter, but let's go hunting. Let's get some supplies. Let's see what's here. Let's grab all. Electrical parts are another good item for more advanced items out the workshops. Some up there, so let's grab that. And let's get components. Well, I've grabbed everything I can. Now, what I'm going to do though, normally I'll just run straight back home for this because I've got loads of components. Let's just have a look at that magnifying glass, see what that gives us. What I'm going to show, I want to show you the combat system before I call it quits for the video. So what we've got, no more hiding, we meet in heaven, okay, whatever. So as we go over here towards the house, so we was in the garage and we've got the house now, and this dude here says, hey you, I need meds from my father, have you got some? Well, if we look in our inventory, I've got no meds. Now when I played this before and I come across this dude, I did actually give him some meds, and I wandered around the house at my own will. Obviously if you try and steal stuff in here, he will attack you, but I was going all over here and taking stuff over there, and he didn't actually come and try and stop me. What you've also got, in a combat situation, you've also got places where you can hide in the shadows. So if you know that someone's going to come through this door, you can hide in the shadows, he won't see you, he'll go on about his business. When he's gone back through the door, you can come out and carry on doing what you're doing. What I'm going to show you now is the combat system though. So I'm going to deliberately beat this bloke to crap with my shovel. Now if I had a gun I could just shoot him, and basically as soon as I hit this attack icon I'll get a crosshairs, an icon of who I can hit. A knife, he's going to shoot me, I'm going to hit him with a the space. He's got a gun on him, so I've got to be quick. And he died. Anyway, so oh dear. Now obviously normally in a normal situation I wouldn't go and try and attack someone with a shovel. I'd wait till I've got something that's a bit more lethal, like a knife or a gun or something like that. But as it happens, I just wanted to show you that for the purposes of the review. So anyway, Pavel died. Oh well. He was out killed looking for supplies. And we continue, and our character's dead. So now I've only got 2 characters. Now I can continue the game with these 2 characters and see what happens. But because I don't like losing characters, I generally start again. And the first I've got with having all original 3 characters is about 27 days. No, 29 days. So it is actually quite a hard game to play if you want to play it like that. I mean, obviously I could test it and see how far I'll get with these 2, but then you've got to worry about who's going to guard the building, and you know, while someone's out for supplies and things like that. So anyway, that's the end of the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and buy it. You need to. So take care. Thanks a lot.